Hey, this is Rob with Sports Express, and it is officially football season. We're here at the Auburn Indians Pop Warner practice. They're about 2 weeks in. Football games just around the corner. Behind me, we got the Mighty Mites stretching out, getting ready for the season. We're going to hear from their coach later today. And off to the side, we've got the Auburn flag team getting some work in. It's football season. Let's go.
From Pop Warner to the Dome, from 5Ks to marathons, from Little League to work leagues, focusing on the community sports lifestyle in Central New York.
Oh, do it, go on and do it.
Okay, we are back in the Arma Studios in beautiful Auburn, New York. Dan, Scott Wilson here. We had an opportunity to go out and check out some youth football action this week.
We have too much fun in here. I can't stop laughing.
Well,
Tracy, he's not going to slouch. We're working on it.
It has been established I'm the tallest one in the studio, though, so you guys are going to have to...
Wow, that's kind of rude.
All right, no, yeah, that's rude. Okay, let's get back to this. So, you know, as the intro said, it's football season. Syracuse University a couple weeks away from their opener. And NFL games in preseason mode, but I got to tell you, I was most excited about getting out to the youth football fields this week. On Monday, I headed out to Skinny Atlas, where the Skinny Atlas Marcellus team, the Skinny Atlas Football Club, had their first practice of the season. They had a new coach this year.
Your kid's going there. All right.
Had a new coach there. Had opportunities to take some pictures and talk to the guys. My first year in 9 years that I have not been coaching for that Skinny Atlas Marcellus football program.
I appreciate the open spot.
Bring Scott Wilson in to fill that void. What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that program, and what big difference?
You know, it's well run from the get-go, from getting our helmets and the way they log them into the computer to setting up the field for practice. Everything just ran smoothly, and quite frankly, with two teams having 55 kids or whatever it is, I mean, it was organized, which was kind of shocking because with that many kids on the first day, a lot of them brand new, I thought there might be a little bit of a hiccup, but
yeah, the kids heard I was gone from the program, so enrollment skyrocketed.
Everybody signed up. Well, hey, you had a chance to go to Auburn, as we saw, so hey, let's check it out.
All right, here with Coach Eddie Ash. Coach, introduce us to your team.
Yes, this is the Auburn Indians Mighty Mites. And, you know, say your names one at a time. Tell them your name. Say it loud.
Jasias, Amir, Jasiah, Lucas, Taj, Memphis, Jamel,
Who else we got here?
Bryce, Bentley, Brandon, Anthony,
Who'd we miss? All right, come on in, bud.
Brendan,
All right, do we have everybody?
no, Gregory.
Okay, is that everybody? Hey, Coach, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. What's your name?
Coach Ernie.
Nice. All right, so we are with the Mighty Mite Auburn Indians football team. Coach, how's the season going so far? You just getting started?
Just getting started. I mean, it's going really good. We got the kids' attention. I mean, we're going through plays. We got a lot of first-year players.
All right.
So, I mean, we're winding down and then they're getting over the anxiety of the first year, you know, the jitterbugs.
Sure.
But it's coming along real good, man. I mean, we're hoping to have a good season. We got some real good athletes.
Good. So, Mighty Mites, what age group is that?
Mighty Mites is 7, 8, and 9.
All right. Well, we're not going to give any scouting report out to the other teams, but what are you guys trying to do? Is ground and pound? Or are you spreading out a little bit? Talk to us a little bit about the offense.
Speed.
Well, speed kills. Good stuff. All right. So, who are the big rivalries for the Auburn Indians?
I'm not sure the rivalries this year. I think they went down a division. I'm not really sure, but I know Chittenango were the Mighty Mite champions last year.
The Chittenango Bears, okay.
Chittenango Bears.
Right.
So, they said they ran us in the ground last year, so we're trying to bring a little something back this year.
All right,
Hopefully we get it together.
Sounds good. Looks like you got a good bunch here, but I don't want to interrupt practice. But Coach, it was great to talk to you, and we look forward to covering your games and getting some highlights on Arma and the Sports Express Network show.
I'm gonna say one thing.
Loud and proud. Auburn Indians. 1, 2, 3.
Good job, guys. We're here with Auburn Indians flag coach, Rob
football
Hewlick.
coach.
Flag football coach, Rob Hewlick. Coach, tell me a little bit about these guys.
Well, I think what we're dealing with now is just new experiences, kids who've never really played the game before, mixed in with a couple kids who do have experience. So you're trying to balance the teaching and the playing. There's some coaches that are new here as well, so we're kind of all learning, but we've got good turnout. Kids are showing up, they're having fun, they're making plays, and that's what it's about.
What are the ages of these kids?
So these kids are 5, 6, and 7 years old.
Very nice. You've been coaching flag football a long time?
To be honest with you, this is the first time.
All
I do
right.
know a little bit about football, but this is a new experience for me as well.
What's your football background, Coach?
I'm a fantasy football fan.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. That sounds good.
You're
Sounds
a smart
good.
man. You're a smart
So, what are these kids? You got them running the spread. You got them playing ground and pound. What are we doing at flag?
So we're trying to perfect the snap handoff,
All right.
the basics, right? And some kids can do it. Some kids are learning it. I was just working with the second team. It was a little more challenging. The first team kind of has it down. So we're trying to advance that, throw a couple throws in there, and score some touchdowns.
All right, who are you going to be playing against this year?
I still have to learn the schedule myself.
gotcha.
So,
Okay.
again, new experience for all.
And games are right here?
The games are on this field, correct?
Beautiful. And we are at Seward Elementary School. And it's
This
the
is actually
Auburn.
where I went to elementary
Oh, very
school.
nice.
So
All right, so you're giving
Right in my
back.
own backyard,
Giving
yeah.
back. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Coach, have a great season. We're going to be doing some coverage of you guys throughout the course of the season, asking you questions, letting us know how it goes. Maybe we can get some of these guys on film at some point in time. But
We're ready and willing.
All right, good
All right.
luck. We'll talk
Thanks
to
a
you
lot.
soon. Bye.
Appreciate you.
Yep. What are we doing here today? What are you playing? One last time, I can't hear you. All right, a lot of excitement here with the Auburn Indians flag team. Hey, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Cardle.
Nice.
Liam. Evan. Blake. Iata. Leo. Trey.
Introduce yourself, buddy.
Nico.
Miko.
All right, who are we missing here?
Premier. Dodo. Brandon.
And we got a shy one right here. We got a shy one.
Dodo.
What's your name, bud? All right, Coach.
Mason.
There you go. Who'd we miss?
Mace, get in there,
Who'd we miss?
Mason.
Mason. Cardle.
Beautiful.
And who? What's your name?
Logan.
Yeah. Good.
Y'all want to do a chant for him? Get him and show us. Put your hands in. Put your hands in. Put your hands in.
Hands in, get ready for the chant.
Get ready. Get ready.
I'm pretty family. Oh.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Hey, good luck, guys. Have a great season. A lot of excitement out on that Auburn football field. Great facility you guys have out there next to Seward Elementary, field after field. You know, kids running around, flag kids, Mighty Mites, and the older version. Must have been 55, 60 kids there playing football in Auburn as well. Very, very exciting. Had an opportunity to talk to Coach Eddie Ash. Did I say that right?
You did?
Yeah. Who seemed to be, running a pretty tight ship there, getting those guys ready for the season. What do you
Kids
think?
like him.
Yeah.
Kids like him.
He's very into it.
Fantastic. So, little question for you guys as we're talking about this. Obviously, Auburn Pop Warner team and Skinny Atlas team is USA Football. Have you dove into the differences between those two organizations yet?
I think it's more of it's Pop Warner was always a weight-based organization, and they've kind of changed it a little bit with the older levels. Now they're letting them go unlimited. It was always tough to turn kids away. You had to tell them they were too big to play football, which sounds absurd.
Yeah.
And then when I go over to Skinny Alice, there's some pretty large kids in 6th grade.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'd be interested in getting Dan's thought on it. We went from the Fly Fickle League in Skinny Atlas, which was run a lot like Pop Warner, even though it wasn't. Very, very restrictive as to where kids could play and what weight could carry the ball. They kind of had a hybrid between the Pop Warner and the USA Football, in which any kid could play so long as they were age eligible, but only kids under a certain weight could actually carry the football. But had all kinds of crazy rules about where you had to stand and what you needed to do. And the entire time it seems like coaches were spending more time fighting about whether kids were in and out of position, even though kids were making football moves and in football positions, than, what was actually required. So you break that out into the Pop Warner and all the age limits and things like that. That's a differential. And then in this league that you're in now, I just love it because it allows the kids to play football, allows the coaches to play football, and all the kids that should be playing, you know, there's no limitations on what they can do. I know that safety is supposed to be a huge factor in why some of these roles were done, but I got to tell you, we saw none of that in the 3 years that we've been playing under these new rules now. So I'm very interested as the season goes on to see what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the differences. I'm happy for kids like, you know, I had a kid last year who had to come in and lose, you know, 10, 15 pounds.
Just can't be healthy.
And he did it.
Yeah.
To his credit, I never thought it could happen, but he did it. And but I hate to see that because that's not who he is. You know,
Yeah.
he had to do something out of his norm. So I'm excited for the big kids to get a chance to play and not be, you know, shunned because they're too large to play a sport for large people.
I totally disagree with that, but that's just me.
Let's hear.
Well, no, it's the weight limit. I mean, listen, smaller demographic are the overweight kids, and I understand that. You know, to get them healthy, to get them where they need to be at that. Everybody knows they go to the doctor, oh, for your age, your size, you're overweight. I understand that. But, you know, you've got that kid that's, you know, within that size range and gets hit by this kid. It's just, you know, we talk safety. It's like Pop Warner changed the rules where an offensive lineman couldn't be in a three-point stance. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's telling me that the coaches they have on the field aren't teaching the proper fundamentals of a three-point stance and how to get out of it. And we all know that as a coach, you should always put a kid in a position to succeed and not fail. So a lot of people say, well, I'll put my weakest player, I'll put him on the offensive line, and I'll run to the other side of him. And the kid gets eaten alive. And it's you know, coaching is vital at that age. You know, 7, 8, 9-year-old kids need a coach that understands the game. And, you know, you can't have Johnny's dad go out and coach because he's Johnny's dad. You know, you can't have a board member go out and coach because he's a board member. You've got to find coaches that are capable of teaching these kids the proper fundamentals to get them ready to play it correctly and enjoy the game. And, you know, case in Auburn is, you know, the junior peewee team. You've got, you know, Dan Pisarcek, knows football, played college football. He's a coach at JV high school. You've got Omar Bailey, who, you know, coaches JV, knows football, knows the game, you know, great coach. Those are guys that, you know, if I had a kid, I would want him on that team because I know he's getting the proper coaching. Right now in Auburn, you know, at the Mighty Might level, I think, you know, Eddie Ash is that guy. The kids respect him, they love him, and he knows the game very well. And he's got, you know, some assistant coaches that are pretty solid. And you saw your interview with the flag coach, who I was actually impressed with him. You know, he's talking about the fundamentals. You know, getting the snap, the handoff, getting the little things right. So I think it comes down to coaching and you know, the organization doing a good job of picking coaches. You know, hey, that kid's overweight. You know, as far as Pop Warner organization, I feel bad for the kid because I want him to play. But then again, you know, it's the rules are the rules because, and the kid he's talking about is a hell of an athlete.
He is.
And he's that kid where, you know, he hits a smaller kid, he's going to do some damage. And when he got his weight down and got into playing, he's pretty dominant player.
I just can't imagine that he is less dominant because he's lost some weight. And I've seen it time and time again. And most of the times, the kids that we're talking about here that create the safety issue are not the big, heavy kids that need to lose weight because most of the time they're slow. And you're going to have some kids that are just special, and you can't take that away from them. But not letting kids play the great game of football and get out there and exercise and do those things because they are overweight, I'm 100% against. It is the slower, faster guys that will hit you and hurt you. It's not necessarily the big guys that are causing those types of difficulties. And so I disagree with the weight limits 100%.
Well, then I guess the overweight kids can go to Skinny Atlas and play, huh?
Well, I guess so. That's the difference between the leagues, and I guess that's a good point that you make. is that different rules. And again, you know, we've seen all three of those now. And I got to tell you, there's no more kids getting hurt because big kids are playing. And in fact, it seems to me like there's a lot less injuries there. Again, I'd be more concerned about my kid getting hit by these smaller, faster kids than some of those big bodies.
Well, I mean, athleticism plays a big part of it too. I mean, there's not, you know, you can't teach it. It's either there or it isn't. And I understand that, but you know, as far as the safety issue, you know, coaching as long as I've seen some crazy things happen, and you know, you got to regulate that athleticism at some point. So stay tuned for the Sports Express wrestling show that'll be after this. But no, I mean, there's pros and cons. You're not going to make everybody happy all the time.
That's the thing.
Understand that. I'm just glad there's other avenues that these kids can take to play the game.
Absolutely.
So, you know, in Auburn being a smaller demographic, and the reason I say for Pop Warner, and let me clarify this for you, is that Auburn is a small demographic. So we don't get the draw as like the Syracuse teams do. Case in point, Scott and I coached a junior midget team, and they basically moved kids up to play this, to make this team, and we were totally 100% against it because we knew what we were going to face.
Sure.
Well, let me tell you, we went to Utica to play their team, and it was every kid tilted the scale, was 5'9.5", you know, 5'10" tall, and
Had a mustache.
yeah, and we got manhandled. So Auburn being in the Pop Warner, I think it's the best place for them because you're playing these Syracuse teams. You know, you're playing the Kirk Parks, the Sherman Parks, you're in Oswego, you're Fulton, you're playing these teams that have a larger pool to draw from. So if it was unlimited, you know, as far as weight, then Auburn wouldn't be able to compete with some of these teams because of that. And that's, I mean, you know, you get the junior Pee Wee team has, I think they said 21, 22, and you're going to go out to Sherman Park and you're going to play a team that has a roster of 35.
So it's a competition type of thing that you're saying, and you're choosing to play against all of those schools instead of maybe choosing to play against teams that you match up well against or match up evenly against. And I just think that's all things that can be taken into consideration. In the league that Scoot is entering right now, there's teams all the way from Southern Hills through Rochester, and safety is the number one concern for that league, and so they spend a lot of time trying to figure out a schedule, matching up teams against each other, you know, based upon those types of things. It's not just geographical, but it's also, you know, based upon what teams match up well against each other, and I think those are all factors that can be taken into consideration, because at the end of the day, I will never favor a football league that tells an age-eligible kid, you can't play. My 2 cents.
Moving on. Hey.
All right.
So if you didn't go to the Auburn Pride football game Saturday night, don't say hi to me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to see you, hear you. Listen, you know, it's been about defense from week one, but this week, offense put some points on the board. It was, listen, Auburn was down 20-0 at halftime. Now, granted, Lockport got a couple touchdowns that they shouldn't have got. Receivers big, physical, pushing off our D-backs. Clearly should have been a flag thrown. I mean, it was just, Rob and I watched the film, and you see this guy who's 6'2", 240, just push our defensive back to the ground, go up and catch the ball. 2 touchdowns. They did it 3 times in the first half. Yeah. The second half, you know, we had a talk with the referees, and they started throwing that flag on the push-off.
Well, they actually, you know, the Pride got out to a 20-0 deficit, and again, looking at the film, it could have easily been 27-0, and all the complaints paid off. They actually did throw a pass interference on the offense on a touchdown with a couple seconds left in the first half that easily could have made it at 27-0 and possibly put that game out of reach.
Well, that was a blatant push-off. I mean, if they didn't call that, I probably would have packed my bags and left. But, you know, when you push the guy to the ground and you see his whole body just, you know, go forward, then you got to throw the flag. The other thing was, you know, the holding. They weren't calling holding on Buck, and Kasim Jones is probably, in my opinion, the best athlete on the field at any team we play. and they're grabbing his jersey, they're holding him. The referee says, well, he has no bearing on the play. Well, we had to get him a Xanax, calm him down a little bit, because if you watch any of these highlights, Buck is making those backside plays almost every time. So we got in his ear. He got in the referee's ear. Oh, there's another play Buck made from behind, and I think eventually the referee actually called holding. So
So you guys are doing your job, working those referees.
We got a lobby.
Yeah.
So, hey, Auburn down 20-0 at halftime. Listen, late in the third quarter, things started to come together, and we're putting some points on the board. We had a couple big defensive plays too that we're going to go over, but it felt so good to come from behind and win that game 21-20.
Yeah.
If you didn't spend that $5 to see that game, you missed out on something special. Because people were coming down the field saying that was one of the best games they've ever seen. So, that's what Auburn brings. Hey, let's take a look. So we're deep in the third quarter, and here we are. Nick Barksdale. Hey, JB gets flushed out of the pocket. Nick does a great job working back towards the quarterback, makes the catch, makes a couple people miss, gets in the end zone. There's our first 6 of the night. Sideline going nuts. You can see Scoot jumping up and down. 2-point conversion. Hey, we got Michael Owens right one. Little pop pass to the tight end. We're up 8-0 at that point. Fourth quarter, here's Trey Backus picking up the block punt, taking it to the house. Great play. That sparked us big time. Travis Cote added the extra point, made it 15-20. And you had an opportunity to sit down with Trey and talk about that. So let's take a look.
Hey everyone, this is Rob from Sports Xpress. We are on location at Costa's Bar and Grill in Auburn, here with Trey Backus from the Auburn Pride, going to talk to us about the Pride's big 21-20 comeback win over Lockport Saturday night. Trey, how you doing?
Doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing fine. So things got off to a slow start Saturday night against Lockport, but midway through the third quarter, you guys really seemed to pick it up. Second score for the Pride was a huge play by you on a punt block recovery, ran it back for a touchdown. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm on the sideline, and I'm like, Coach, you got to put me in. I got to make a play. We got to make something happen. Something has to happen right now. Get in. It looked like I had a little doubt in myself when I went on the field, but as I got in there and the play developed, I seen the ball just laying there. Nobody wanted to touch it, so I looked to the end zone. I seen nobody there, and I said, I got to go.
All right, we're gonna press play on this and show you the play, and just take us through your thought process and what was going on here. Kicker goes to kick it right there.
You see, I'm over here. I'm engaged with the lineman.
Yep.
I sort of held back, let him grab me a little bit. Then I seen the ball pop out. I looks around, I looked straight, I said, oh, no one's there. I grabs the ball. I seen the guy to my right, but I seen that he was a lineman as well as the man blocking me, and I just knew he wasn't gonna be able to catch me, so I takes off. I see a guy coming behind me, I knew he wouldn't be able to catch me. So I just I gotta get it. Then I get to the end zone, think to myself, all right, I got a front flip for you.
At the end zone or before the end zone?
Before the end zone. When I got to the 5-yard line, I knew I was going to flip.
Oh, there's the flip. Little artistic talent there at the end.
Yeah.
Is that something you've done before?
Nah, that was the first time.
Felt pretty damn good. So that gets you guys back in to, I think after the extra point, it's 21-15 at that point in time. Right back in the game, midway through the fourth quarter. Huge play there.
Yeah.
And you seem to be having a knack with that the last couple weeks. Week before, in another tight game, you're playing defense and recovered fumble for a touchdown. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that play.
It was sort of like this game. I said something has to go. We had to make something happen. Our offense wasn't producing as well as they did this previous game. So I'm like, it falls down on this defensive player. So I'm like, I got to make something happen, or somebody on the team has to make something happen.
Well, I got to give you some props here. I've been watching you for the last couple of years, and you seem to be a guy that, does a little bit of everything. Play offense, play defense, play special teams, and coming up with some big plays here. What is it that you like to bring for the Pride?
I got a player mentality that I want to make sure everybody around me is great. So I'm there wherever the coaches need me. I will fill in a spot. If you want me to play guard, center, I will fill a spot. I'm just there to be a team player. That's all.
So you've got Ithaca coming up this week. What do you expect from those guys?
I expect it to be a good game. but I'm not gonna doubt us, man. I know we're gonna win. That's just nothing. We're gonna win that game.
All right, Auburn Pride on a roll right now. Won their last 3 games, starting to make a push for the playoffs. What do you think your chances are to get in there for a playoff run?
I think we're gonna make it. We're gonna be in the playoffs for sure.
So Ithaca this weekend at Ithaca, then you got a big grudge match with Syracuse Strong coming up in a couple weeks. So anything you have to say about those guys?
Oh yeah, it's a determined win. This one, I will not let you guys down. We're gonna get this one.
Well, Trey, thank you very much. Congratulations on the win last week, and keep it rolling.
Thank you.
All right, Trey.
Pretty good interview with Trey.
Trey's a character.
Yeah,
love that guy.
He's always got something to say. So hey, Trey made a big play there. We're gonna go on here. Auburn gets the ball back. JB, unfortunate, rolls out, throws this pick, and our sideline is pretty quiet. Hands
I thought
in the
that
air.
was the nail in the coffin.
Yep, I did too. Flag comes
I
out.
saw that flag and I was like, oh, thank
Yep,
you.
flag comes out, brings it all the way back. So a couple plays later, this is a big play. Quarterback drops back, throws it, catches it underneath Lamont Fleming. Boom, he punches it out. It's on the turf. Dell can't get it. Kicked by Lockport, recovered by Manny Flowers. Auburn has a chance. And you guys got a chance to talk to some of the defensive guys and Lamont and talk about that play.
Ross from Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in there.
What's that?
It's in there. Oh, okay. So we're all set.
All right.
We got to go back and do that segment, huh?
Which piece? So what you were just talking about is actually in there and everything?
It is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that again. Let me cut this.
If it's okay if we can fit it in, I would just like to make one comment about that before we go into the tape.
All right, so we're basically coming back from Trey's breakdown.
We'll pull right back in exactly where we
Where we started, yeah.
Okay.
So Trey had a lot to say.
That guy is a complete character. Love him.
Trey, it's one thing he does is make plays. So, hey, Auburn gets the ball back. And unfortunate, JB drops back. He's got Kaz there, throws it a little to the left. Pick off by Lockport. There's the flag, comes out. Thank God for that. It's coming back, but they got the ball. So, doesn't look good for Auburn at that point.
Yeah, there's less than 2 minutes on the clock at that point in time. You'd think that the game is probably over.
Yeah, I think we're under 3 minutes. But hey, a couple plays later, this is big. Lockport drops back, throws a pass underneath Lamont Fleming. Boom, punches it out. Ball's going wild. Delquan Ross can't get it. Lockport kicks it. Manny Flowers falls on it.
Huge play.
Huge play. Sideline going nuts. Hey, we've got the ball back. We got a little less than, I think it was 2:32 on the clock, something like that. And you guys got a chance to talk to some members of the defense and Lamont about that play.
Yes,
so
absolutely. Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Let's take a look.
Number 25, Delquan Ross from Syracuse.
Number 31, DB Lamont Fleming, Syracuse.
Number 47, Travis Kodze from Syracuse.
Number 10, Manny Flowers from Heaven.
Number 24, Kasheem Jones. He called me Buck though, from Syracuse.
Would you like to tell me a little bit about the play you made late in the game on a big third down where they converted, but we got the ball back?
I just know how to make a play. We needed the ball back definitely. He caught the ball, and the one thing I do is pursue after catch. Just because he caught the ball does not mean the play's over. My best thing is to swing for the ball. Once he caught it, honestly, I put my left hand around him, and I knew I could swing with my right, and I swung and felt the air gap, and I knew it was gone. I didn't know how far it went, though.
Oh, it was gone. It went from one hash mark to the other one, and I think then it went through about 3 or 4 different players' hands, and thankfully we came up with it. So that was a huge play because that might have been the one that put us away. So
yeah, still down a touchdown and clock running down. Just a huge play by the defense, get the ball back for the offense.
So, hey, let's continue. Here we go. So, JB drops back. Look at this. Back shoulder throw to Nick Barksdale. Great catch. Makes a move, gets down the sideline. Doesn't know where the clock is. Gets out of bounds a little prematurely. But hey, great first down, 47-yard gain. And here's JB taking the game into his own hands. Scrambles to the right. Waits the last possible minute. Nick Barksdale back of the end zone. Touchdown. 21-20. Last play for Lockport. They had a shot. We should have had him in the backfield. And he just gets off a Hail Mary. Hits the turf. Game is over. And boy, I'll tell you, I slept really good that night.
Yeah, me too.
And every week we talk about the defense and how well they play. And the first half, the defense didn't show up.
No, they had a bruising running back. That number 23 was probably bigger than any of our linemen, and kid ran hard, and they spread us out and gashed us up the middle over and over, and then when you started to crowd the box, they threw it outside. So
How big was that guy, 23, you think?
He's a
Running
big
back?
boy.
Yeah.
6 foot, maybe 260, 270.
Yeah.
big kid.
He could run.
We made some good halftime adjustments, so we.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. You stole my thunder a little bit. Everyone was so excited about the win. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the fact I think this was the first time all season that team regularly moved the ball down the field against our defense. I didn't know if it was just us being flat, them having a good game plan, what it was, and they'd run 23, run 23, run 23, and then run a short pass play, but it was pretty effective, and they seemed to move the ball down the field pretty well in the first half. Second half, after somewhat of a decent start, the defense really put an end to things. Were there significant adjustments that you guys made, or what was the key to your success in the second half?
We just changed our coverage scheme, and we basically brought up one of the safeties to become a fourth linebacker.
Okay.
And we took out a couple of the normal guys on the rotation on the D-line and took a couple of our old linemen who are always begging to get in, who
Yeah.
are bigger guys. We put them down the line. That seemed to bottle up the run a little bit and forced them to become a little more one-dimensional, which obviously played into our hand. But yeah, we had to change things up. Man.
I think it was the severe butt chewing they got at halftime that kind of changed things
Who'd
around.
that come from?
But here we go, agree to disagree. But no, listen, Scott made some great adjustments. Colin Dillenball, in that linebacker spot, a bigger kid, made some plays, made some big plays. And of course, you always got, Shamar who runs 90 miles an hour. But, when you got a guy that's 260 pounds running up the middle, that's a lot to ask for him. And Shamar is not afraid of anybody. And he put a couple shots on him. Yeah. Shamar ended up with a shoulder injury on one of the shots, but, he went back in the game and continued to play.
Yeah,
So
Shamar's been fantastic all season. We constantly talk about him on this show. But I got to tell you, Colin Dillabaugh was the man in that game. Just going through, just saying, who made that tackle? Oh, it was Colin. Who made that tackle? Oh, it was Colin. Had a heck of a football game.
He did. Played very well. And, you understand is that's a kid that plays both ways too. Plays offensive line, played linebacker, plays, D tackle. Watching the film, we got RJ back this week.
Yep.
RJ's just a big physical kid. And he continues to surprise you with some of the plays he makes.
Yeah.
That was a couple weeks ago. It was a punt, and it hit him in the chest or something, and he caught it. And,
Oh, it's unreal.
yeah, but having him back on the O-line is huge. He big kid, physical kid. He's like the bull in the china shop, pretty strong.
Yeah.
He's begging to play fullback. Not going to happen. But Zach Singer, the guys played well.
They did. They did. And I don't think we've talked enough about Nick Barksdale in the game that kid played.
I'm surprised Nick is still playing. This kid took some shots early in the season. He had to take a couple games off on one of the shots. I told him, listen, quality of life is more important than the game of football. And he wasn't having it. He didn't want to hear anything about it. He goes, I'll be back, give me a week. So, he got cleared and he was okay to play. And he definitely showed up this game. And he's one of them guys, not only an athlete, he's a great football player.
Sure.
He saw JB in trouble. What's he do? He did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to come back to the ball, work the sideline, and he did. Made a great catch, great move, got in the end zone, put the first 6 on the board for us. And, you can't ask any more from that. And the big back shoulder throw, it was 1st and 10, but it gave us in great field position for him to come back and make that touchdown in the corner of the end zone. So.
Well, yeah, and even on that one, you could tell that the defensive back was right on him, but he made a better adjustment to the football than the defensive back did, and touchdown, game winner. Pride wins the game. It
And
doesn't
JB
get any
just
better
threw
than
a
that.
perfect ball.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I mean, he floated it right to the back corner. And first when he let it go, I thought it was a little too deep, but no, he was.
Nice,
Nick went and got
nice
it.
Toe tap by Nick too.
Yep. So
great job, Nick Barksdale.
Yeah, my game ball this week would probably go. I'd have to give it to Nick and JB. The connection they have, the chemistry is definitely there. So. We go down to Ithaca, we'll see what happens between them two. And, we just got to get the ball in Kaz's hands, got to get the ball in Sultani's hands. We got to, get some more people involved and get our running game going. But, I don't know, be the next, tough couple weeks. We got Ithaca, and then we've got the season-ending home game against Syracuse.
So Ithaca's on the road down there, 5 o'clock start at Ithaca High School.
Ithaca High School.
Not a long trip, so Pride fans head on down to Ithaca and still have time to go out to a nice dinner, hang out afterwards.
Bagels.
Bagels?
They got good bagels.
So Pride, 3-game winning streak. Does that put us back in the playoff hunt, or where are we sitting?
Well, we're tied for 4th right now with Lockport.
And that is a playoff spot, 4th place. Okay.
Yep, take top 4. So we're sitting at 4th place with Lockport. Depending on what Lockport does the next 2 games, depending on what we do the next 2 games is going to determine whether we're in or out.
So Syracuse, the 1st seed right now. Troy, the 2nd seed.
Monroe County's 3rd. And then we're actually ahead of Lockport because we beat them.
Okay.
So, but there's, we're tied for 4th.
Yep.
So, they lose 1, we win 1. We get it's going to come down to the Syracuse game is what it's going to come down to. So
Gotcha. Well, coming where we are now from where we were a couple weeks ago, I like what you're talking about, Coach. Playoffs.
Nah, we'll see. Got to take care of Ithaca. Got to go there and take care of that before we even.
One game at a time.
Yeah, look to Syracuse.
Well, what do you expect to see from Ithaca?
Listen, we scrimmaged them last year. And they traveled to our facility. They have 18 guys.
About 18 guys, yeah. Played us toe to toe.
Those guys can play football.
Yeah.
And, Xavier does a hell of a job with that group down there. But they had that kid, the redhead. And I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he was good.
He's really good.
Athletic quarterback.
Oh, and he didn't. And he played wide receiver, right? In D-line or something. And I was like. He was
all over.
He was all over the place, making plays. So
that's for sure.
This isn't going to be an easy game.
No, definitely not.
We just gotta, eliminate the mistakes. The penalties, kill us every game. This game we had a good game. We didn't have a lot of penalties. We had, a false start, legal formation, but other than that, we didn't have any, drive killing penalties.
That's nice.
Of course. I don't know if the rest would have even called it because they didn't call anything most of the game. But that's bad. I'm ripping on the refs. But hey, when you push off like they pushed off and score, I just that's, you're putting the game,
You're taking it away from the players.
Yeah, you're taking it away from them. So I don't know. We'll see what Saturday brings. 5 o'clock, Ithaca High School.
All right, sounds good. So that is the Auburn Pride report. 2 games left. See if they make it into the playoffs. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is the Sports Express Network bringing you the best of the community sport lifestyle. Again, if you want your story to be told by this gang, please give us a call. Rob at sportsexpress.com, Rob at sxpnetwork.com, 315-263-8771. We'd love to get out and cover your team, your event, and anything else that's going on in the community sports world.
Is he slouching? Are you slouching?
How's
there
that?
you go. Atta baby. Sorry we missed that, but
did I mention that I was the tallest one on the stage here? All right, we'll see you next week.